Hi, y'all. I'm Paula Dean, and today in my kitchen I have a very special guest. Her name is Ree Drummond, and she's all the way from Oklahoma.
Hi.
Ree is so special. She does so many things, and she has a house full of kids to do it with.
I'm a blogger and a photographer and a mom and an accidental country girl.
In this episode of 7 Bites, we are going to be Paula Dean.
And Ree Drummond, the pioneer woman.
And we're going to talk about nuts.
We're not really Paula Dean and Ree Drummond.
I'm Suzette.
I'm Jennifer.
And this is 7 Bites. Hi, y'all. Today we're going to make pecan bars. And for those of you who have had bariatric surgery, you say, what can I eat that gives me protein, that has a little hint of sweet to it, but has not got a lot of sugar? And what we're going to do today is make a divine, absolutely divine
They are so
pecan bar that whoever takes a bite of this pecan bar will not know that it is a sugar substitute. It has, it does have a little butter in it, but it has pecans. It has almond flour, which is not a carbohydrate.
It's a low-carb flour.
It's a
low-carb substitute.
Low-carb substitute. It has eggs, which add protein.
Yep.
It has pecans for protein. It has agave syrup. And
honey.
Yeah.
Which are natural sweeteners, and they both have a low GI. And so we found that bariatric patients have an easier time digesting things like honey and agave nectar than they do sugar. And at least we do, and we know many people that do so.
And the other side of this is, like, sometimes I don't have enough of one thing or the other. I'll have a half a cup of agave nectar
A
and
little bit of this and a little bit
you
of that.
can mix it together and it works
a little bit
beautifully.
of honey in my life. A little bit of agave tastes so nice.
Hey, we said we were talking about nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. You work on these eggs and make sure there's no shells or any bad eggs in there. And I'm going to chop up this butter and put it over in the food processor. And I'm going to process it until it is just like you would do pie dough, where it has a bit of a crumbly substance to it. And then what we're going to do is we will press it into that 9.5 by 13 inch pan. Then we will add all these together, put it in the oven and bake it, and we're going to see what happens. So y'all bear with us while we smush
magic in the oven. You know, Halloween is such a special time for us. And
it's my favorite holiday.
It's one of our favorite holidays. But, you know, there's a lot of reasons because, of course, we have kids, and so the kids get dressed up and have a good time. And, you know, then, of course, you get the candy. This, people, right here, there we go. That's why you want to make sure that you break your eggs in a separate bowl so that you can do this and dig the shell out without ruining the whole batch. So, back to Halloween. But my grandpa, Halloween was his favorite holiday. And he loved to watch the kids get all dressed up, and he loved them coming over. And he always made sure he had candy for them. Even if he didn't get any other trick-or-treaters that year, he knew that his grandbabies were going to come see him. His great-grandbabies were going to come see him.
Because when I was at home, we lived so far out in the country that nobody trick-or-treated. And so it became a real special thing. When the kids came along, we would come up for Halloween and go to the program at the school because they had a costume parade and everything.
We're adding, how much of it each is in here, by the way?
There is a cup of each. A cup of honey.
A cup of honey and a cup of agave.
Okay. And then you're going to throw in a couple of teaspoons, and there may be a little bit more than 2 teaspoons of vanilla.
You can never have too much vanilla.
You can't have too much of that.
Vanilla and butter.
Well, bear with me. I'm going to pulse this. And thank goodness for food processors because it works so quick.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So, Grandpa, they didn't get very many trick-or-treaters, right?
No. Well, we lived in a small town. When I was in high school, there were only 340 kids in the whole school, and I think there's only around 700 in high school now. So it's quite a bit larger.
It's a very small town. I graduated. My graduating class was about 200 people. So I think when I graduated, we had around 800 to 1,000 in my school, and that's considered small today.
And this town is still fairly small. Most of the people live out in the country. And our church does a trunk or treat where everybody loads all their candy in the trunk and takes it and parks in the church parking lot.
It's a lot of fun.
And the kids all come in costume, and we have a lot of fun and turn the radios up and play funny music and, just have a blast.
Good already.
See, this is so easy. This is the simplest.
Now, could you add some spices or something like that to it to kind of give it a little more oomph if you wanted to, like some cinnamon or some allspice or something?
You could, and I do at different times. If you want to give it a little more fall flavor, you could put a little bit of pumpkin pie spice in it because that has a little bit of everything.
That's a family favorite in ours. My daughter, when pumpkin pie spice time comes around, she is over the moon. She's pumpkin pie spice coffee, pumpkin pie spice waffles, pudding, cake. Yeah, she loves it.
Yeah, and she's only 9, so
she's only 9.
What's she going to be when she gets our age?
Okay.
Make sure that is all well.
This is all well combined. We are ready for the nuts.
Something we don't have here, and I don't know how I missed it. We need 1 cup of sugar substitute.
Oh.
And
okay.
I don't know how we missed that. It's going to be right.
It's going to be all right. I'm going to go get it.
And that just shows what happens when you're doing live TV. You do forget things. Now, I'm just kind of rough chopping these. You could leave them whole and place them in the bottom if you wanted to. To me, that's too much work. My stepmom used to lay her pecans in her pecan pie pan, and they always looked so pretty, and it was just beautiful. But I'm a lazy cook. I get in a hurry, and I know most of y'all are busy with your homes, your work, and your outside activities, sports, things like that. So you can even buy these nuts already chopped or in pieces so that you don't have to go to this much trouble. And you saw how little trouble the... now
this goes in here, right?
That's right, a whole cup. Now that's...
This is a half a cup.
Okay.
So I'm going to put 2 of these in because this is a half a cup.
Yeah. And it calls for 2 cups of chopped pecans. Now, I could place the pecans in here and pour the agave mixture over it. It will float. It will do the same thing. I just happen to me, I like putting it in layers.
Well, and there's a little bit more of a kind of a bite-sized factor because we cut these into really small pieces.
Yeah, so you really want to break these
up. The smaller the pieces, I mean, they don't have to be tiny, of course, but
it break the pecans up. This is so rich, and it has sugar substitute, honey, and agave, and it is so rich. I can only eat 1 piece, but it solves that hunger for sweets.
When you're hungry, when you want something sweet, you can have little bitty bite, and it really does satisfy you. I know some of you out there are like, well, how is that going to satisfy me? Trust me, when you try this, you'll see how this satisfies. It is
the other side
really
of that
good.
coin is you have family sitting down at the table with you. They can't tell that it's not regular pecan
no
pie.
Idea.
And that's the fun. I like cooking for people and surprising them with the ingredients. We go to different things at church, and I'll take sugar-free dump cake, with everything sugar-free in it. And people just go crazy, and they go, that is so good. What did you put in it? Well,
a little this, a little that.
It's all sugar-free. And we're getting more into looking at using the alternatives to wheat flour. There's a lot of reasons. A lot of people have health issues over it. That's not something I'm totally concerned with. But since I've changed my whole way of eating, I want to try new things.
Yeah.
I want to put something good into my body.
And while we're not entirely gluten-free, we do eat fairly low carb, and when you eat a low carb diet, it naturally becomes gluten-free and grain-free over time. Or gluten...
Controlled.
That's a great word. Less gluten and less grains, really. So it's kind of a,
Well, you're using...
little this, little that.
using more nut products. Go ahead and pour that in here.
Because we're a whole lot of nuts
over here. A lot of nuts. Whole lot of nuts.
That looks really good already.
It really does. And look how easy this is. Am I making a big to-do about this? Not really. Just kind of making sure that it's even. And it will bubble up and coat all the pecans. So, don't really have to worry too much about...
We have escapees!
Escapees.
No!
Right.
You are going in my pecan bar.
There you go. That's how easy it is. Now we put it in the oven.
That was. Wasn't that was really easier than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
The hardest part is waiting the 35 to 40 or 40 to 45 minutes. It really varies with your oven. Mine takes about 45 minutes on 325 degrees. But what you do is when you think it should be done, you shake it. And if it doesn't move, then it's done. If it moves,
no wiggle and no jiggle.
And if it moves, then you leave it at, I would leave it in 5-minute increments until it's firm. So,
right.
Okay, you want to pop that in here?
Let's pop that in there.
All right. And we're going to set the timer for, let's set it for 40 minutes.
40 minutes, and then we are going to come back and show you how decadent and delicious these bars are. So
they are awesome.
We'll be right back.
Awesome. We'll be right back. Well, y'all, this is our finished product. These are the pecan bars, and aren't they just beautiful? We cut them into about 1 inch by 1 inch sizes, so that that's the portion we should be eating of any dessert. As a bariatric patient, I don't want to break the habit of eating small bites. And so this is one of our small bites.
Forget the fork. Those are really good. They taste like... Let me talk with my mouth full. They taste like pecan pie.
They are pecan pie.
Which is what they are. They're pecan pie. They're very rich and sweet and decadent, but they're not going to spike your blood sugar, and they're not going to send you, well, you know.
And folks, this is not something you're going to eat every day. We made enough because we have company coming, okay? We're not going to eat this all by ourselves. The good thing about it is if we did make this much and we had leftovers after we eat our 2 little pieces, you can wrap each one individually in clear wrap.
Yep, pop it in the freezer.
Pop it in the freezer.
Let it sit out for about 30 minutes before you want to eat it. And
that's the thing about learning to cook with a small tummy is learn to freeze. Mm-hmm. You can use regular freezer cups that are plastic or whatever they're made out of, and or you can use a vacuum sealer. And
those things come in real handy for a lot of things.
It's a good investment, especially if you have, like my husband and I, it's just the 2 of us. And we're not going to eat a large quantity of anything, so I use that vacuum sealer to put a lot of things in the freezer so that when company comes, I have it on hand. But also, it just tastes better if it's homemade.
It does. Everything tastes better homemade. So, and these are certainly awesome.
They really
are. All
are.
right, so going back to our nutty theme,
we're going to show you how to make some spiced nuts for an everyday treat. Hey, Lucy, are my eyelads just falling off?
Oh, just a little bit. There you go. All right, how's my hair?
Well, it's sliding downhill real fast.
Oh, goodness. I'm
but
just
hey,
falling apart.
We can finish this. I promise you won't lose your hair.
We're so nutty up in here.
I'm telling you, if you can't have fun cooking,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Same way with your weight loss. if you can't have fun with it,
Why do it?
Why do it?
No. It's going to be fun. Have fun in the kitchen.
Have fun. Be Ree Drummond or Paula Dean.
Be
or
silly.
Lucy and Ethel, whoever you want to be.
Yep.
Right now, we're going to throw together those really fantastic nuts.
These are so good, y'all.
I'm going to have Jennifer start out by separating. She's going to need to beat that egg white. So I'll be the egg separator.
What'd that egg white ever do to me?
I don't know, but we're going to
Here we go.
This is my egg separator game here. Ooh, good job. Easy, fast, and completely washable.
That's right. All right, so I'm going to just start beating this egg white. This poor innocent egg white that never did nothing to me is getting a good beating.
Okay, what we're going to do...
He looked at me funny.
We're going to throw in... You can do this two ways. You can use all the ingredients and mix them up, and we'll have these on the blog. It's sea salt, garlic powder, chili powder, ground cumin, and cayenne pepper. Or you can cut to the chase like I did.
And just go the easy route.
Use Cajun spice.
Chunk those in there.
Just throw it in there.
Just throw it in there.
That works. Now, what we're going to do, this is the trick.
I have some water here. Am I supposed to do anything with the water?
Yeah, you're supposed to throw that water in there. That's to help it mix a little bit better.
Kind of loosens things up just a smooge.
Yeah. And then what we're going to do...
Smooge is a technical term, by the way.
We're going to put it all in a plastic bag. And
okay, this is the complicated part.
This is the part where you have to have a degree in something. I hadn't figured out what mine's in. Maybe it's 350 in the oven, but yeah. And then in go the nuts.
Dump them in.
We don't want to lose those pepitos in there.
No.
I've got
this is
peanuts,
Halloween. We're using pumpkin seeds.
Pecans. I've got peanuts. I've got almonds. I don't know.
I think I saw a cashew or two in there somewhere.
I'm cleaning out the nut bags.
Just, and nuts are such a great snack for us to have on hand. Great snack to have on hand. I can't talk today. I'm telling you, I'm going nutty. But nuts are a great snack to have on hand because they're chock full of fiber and protein, and they're an easy go-to snack that you can just grab a handful, eat them one at a time, and there you go.
Okay, keep massaging that.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to pour into my bag. I've got a tablespoon of honey, a tablespoon of vegetable oil, and a tablespoon of water. Throw that in. I've got 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and you could add a little more if you wanted to.
I love cinnamon. I would add more because I love cinnamon.
And I've got, actually I did add a little more. I've got 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and 2 tablespoons of sugar substitute.
Quick note, if you don't like cinnamon or you're allergic to cinnamon, like a dear friend of mine is, bless her heart, I feel so bad for her, but she's allergic to cinnamon, so you can use allspice, or you can use nutmeg, or you can use ground cloves, or whatever you like.
Using those will give them a little more of a Mediterranean or an Asian flair, and that's fun too. Then go the nuts, and I'm going to massage my nuts. Now we
are massaging. Our nuts are going to be good and relaxed by the time we put them on that pan. They're not going to know what hit them.
And we've got 2 pans that are already prepared with parchment paper in the bottom of them. And the oven is on 325 degrees. And we're going to put them in there and probably leave them about anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Oh, this one, I love honey nuts.
Smells good too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
You need smell-o-vision.
Those are the ones that I can't stop eating.
Truly. We'll set these over here. And I think, yeah, your pan's big enough. Yeah. She's got more in hers than I do because
happenstance.
Well, you can, each recipe, when you get your recipe off of our blog, you'll see that one recipe makes more than the other. And that's okay. Just spread them out, and you just watch them a little closer because you're not going to have them as dense on the pan, so they'll probably...
I'm trying to get all my little pepitos out of my bag.
Probably cook a little faster.
I'm going to use my hands. Okay. They're clean. I washed them. I promise.
I'll take that.
Nice clean hands. Spread them out.
As simple as 1, 2, 3. Totally simple.
All right. So we're going to pop these over here in the oven, and we've got some that we've already made earlier for you that we're going to show you that.
Well, let's get these in here on the bottom shelf because you've got pecan nuts things there. Here we go.
I'm trying to put them on top of the pecan bars.
Okay, those are.
I try to put them on top of the pecan bars.
And I've got some pretty little dishes, and I'm going to step out and get those while you find your nuts.
She's going to... I didn't know I'd lost my nuts.
Who knows?
These are the honey roasted nuts right here, the honey cinnamon roasted nuts. And these are the Cajun spice nuts.
And these are dishes that I never use. I promise you. I'm not a fancy person. We live on a farm. And when we want to do something nice, I have to dig around in the cabinet and dig out Aunt Ginger's pretty dishes. So bear with me. We're going to...
But you know what? Why, if you have some pretty dishes like this, why not just get them out for everyday use? If you're not using them, go ahead and use them. That's what they're there for.
And why not put nuts out for, you know, like the grandkids come in, they're always hungry.
Every day. These are, you know, the pecan bars were sometimes foods that you do on a special occasion or when you're really craving something sweet. These right here are everyday things that you can have on hand and eat anytime you want.
My husband is a muncher. He's a grazer. And we keep
I.
these for him to nibble on rather than having chips, things like that. Football season. What do you want? Something to munch on while you're watching the game.
I'm a popcorn eater. I love popcorn. And these are an amazing substitute for popcorn because you get that crunch that you want. And they still kind of have that buttery, salty kind of a texture to them. So they're perfect.
Well, from one nut to another, to you all, thank you for joining us for all of our nuts.
Happy Halloween from 7 Bites.
Happy Halloween. About to lose my wig.